Welcome to an all-new Downright Sports. I am your host, the notorious sports critic, Brent Reed. And if you have no idea what time it is, well, allow me to tell you it is showtime, everybody. Welcome to another new episode 22 on the year. How about that? I'm getting reflections everywhere. If you've never heard the show before, it is a sports show for sports fans by the sports fan. How about that? Huh? How about that? Anyway, download and listen to the show on Spotify. Of course you should. And download the DJ Chase Radio app, where you can hear the show all the time, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 1 p.m. or until Chase changes the time slot. I actually now I'm so used to the 12 to 1 p.m., never change it. Drive time, sports time, the right time. I just made it up on the fly. Didn't I? Didn't I blow your mind this time? Didn't I? So a lot of stuff. Well, not a lot, but some things we're gonna cover on this show. Show's gonna get a little heavy in this first half. We're gonna ask some questions. Is what we're gonna do in this first half. But first, we need to kill some airtime. Yankees are playing the Red Sox in the Yankee Red Sox rivalry, which keys up this week. Starts up. Fun fact: June 6th, me and the missus will be heading to Yankee Stadium where my Uncle Timmy, I haven't been to a ball game with Uncle Timmy in 10 years. Not even sitting in the same spot. The way it actually happened was Uncle Timmy texted us, or texted me rather, out the blue and was like, "Sup, nephew?" That's how he texts us. "Sup, nephew? I'm going to be going to Yankees Red Sox." And I was like, "What? What? You didn't ask? Say less. We're going." I'm in there. I've never been to a Yankees Red Sox game ever, and um, I'm excited. You know what I mean? Like it's like if you're a Duke fan and you get to go see Duke UNC, which I am a Duke fan. If you are a Michigan fan, you go get to see Michigan and Ohio State. Few years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 3 years ago, we went to Columbus, Ohio. I went and I shot a show from Columbus, which you can download somewhere. Believe you can download it in Apple. In the old, if go to Apple and download it because that's the original format of the show before it was taken down. Long story. Anyway, and yeah, they have no M's anywhere on campus because they're anti-Michigan, which I feel like I should be able to go as a dyslexic person. Kind of feels right. So maybe I'll sign up for Ohio State, and anything with an M in it, I don't have to put, and I just I get A plus plus. How about that? Extra credit. Anyway, so yeah, Yankees Red Sox kicking off the Knicks. NBA playoffs is going, and funny enough, this episode will not be about the NBA playoffs. The playoffs are long, and it's way too much to cover. And I don't do a show where I'm gonna break down game by game. Like that's just not happening here. But I will say this: the Knicks lost game two in the Garden last night. Giancarlo Stanton, did he get all of it? Yes, off the Green Monster. That's gonna be a run. That may be two. Judge, I think, stops at third. No, Judge went in. He saved Giancarlo Stanton with a 2 RBI double. Ooh, boy, oh boy, he is stoic this year. He is stoic. Wow. The excitement. I needed water. Anyway, big hit by Giancarlo. The Knicks lose game two, and I didn't see the game. I actually missed it. I didn't watch game one either because it came on during WrestleMania, which I may talk about later in the show. Excuse me. I need a cough button. Podcast, I guess you don't need a cough button, but it's still rude to start coughing. Coughing while tearing up. Heck. Anyway, the Knicks losing to Atlanta worries me. I'm not going to break it down. I'm not going to go crazy in the detail. But this is why I've been saying all year, and I've been saying since last year, the Knicks need either a true number one or they need another third efficient scorer. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns are fantastic ball players. They're not number ones. They're A's. I mean, they're B's. They're best at best great number two options. They are not the option. You're like, but Jalen, let me explain something to you. When they make up an award called the Clutch Award, that is a made up title. That is to give more players awards so they can get more contracts. The clutch player meant nothing. Like, for the simple fact that Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, like all of them would have won that award. You know what I mean? Like it's just a made up stupid award. And the Knicks, if they don't win in Atlanta, they don't win Game 3. Knicks ain't winning the series. And I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm telling you right now, it does not look good for the New York Knicks, for my New York Knicks. All right, it does not look good. The Giants did something dumb. They traded Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals. They got a 10th pick. Oh my God, you got a 10th pick. 10th pick is a player that's unproven. You got a good defensive guy who was honestly a fan favorite. We went to the Giants and Chiefs game last year, and the fans went crazy for this guy in a team that doesn't have stars. New York football franchises. I was explaining this to my mom the other day. They have zero idea what star power means. Where the Dallas Cowboys want stars, where even other franchises want stars, the New York Giants and the New York Jets, they don't want stars. The Jets gets old stars or bad stars. The Giants do not want stars. Well, what about Eli? Eli became a star, but he wasn't like the Eli you see on TV now was not the Eli that played. All right. What about Tiki Barber? Tiki Barber is not a household name. Like, you know Tiki if you know the sport. What about Odell Beckham? They traded him. Think about that. They traded him. Michael Strahan, like the last marquee football player the Giants had was Lawrence Taylor. Like Michael Strahan became a marquee player as he got close to retirement. Let's not pretend like the first 10 years of his career, people were like going Michael Strahan. No. Like his career elevated as time went on. But Lawrence Taylor is the last megastar for the Giants, which is sad. It's almost 40 years ago since it has been 40 years since he was drafted. He ain't played on the team in 30 something years. So, like, I don't get it. They have this notion of just getting no name talent. And they just want like the Giants really think they're the 49ers or the Cowboys or heck even the at the time, forgive me, nobody come they don't I'm not they don't they think they're the Steelers or hell, even the Raiders, like their name is the most notoriety. No, it's not. You've won 4 Super Bowls. You won 4 Super Bowls. Okay, you don't have the most, but it's not many teams have that many anyway. But calm down, calm down. All right, we ranted enough. Time to get into the meat of the show. So this summer, America, my country, my home, sweet home, is celebrating its 250th birthday. How about that? How about that? Um, don't really care. It's not relevant. Um, I messed up. Hold on. It's not really relevant. Well, it is. It is relevant. It's very relevant. But sorry, I'm trying to do something, and this stupid thing's acting up. All right. So America celebrates its 25th birthday. I was gonna say 25th anniversary, and it's pretty cool because it's gonna be all these events planned around it and all these different festivities, and it's going to be it's going to be something to witness. Nobody alive today will get to see America's 450th birthday. They won't see the 350th birthday. Some living today, and yeah, if you're born today and some who've been around, 50 years is not crazy enough to think you won't see its 300th birthday. That's not crazy to think. But on June 14th, which funny enough is like 3 days before my birthday, um, is it? It's 4 days before my birthday. Um, there will be a UFC card called UFC Freedom 250, which will be on the White House South Lawn. And if you want my opinion, I didn't think this thing was actually going to happen. I really didn't. It was announced basically like right after Donald Trump won the election last year, and it was like it's this big thing, and it got me to thinking. And I'm gonna try to stick to the questions here, and we're gonna bear with me. Is this okay? Let me first start by saying it's different. All right. Is it wrong? I'm gonna say no, and I'll give you a bunch of reasons why. But it's different because we don't associate the White House with like this type of event, if that makes sense. I'm gonna start speaking from the cuff here. I'm buttoning the sleeves because I'm a little buttoned up here, and you need to get the real raw. All right. The UFC is as popular as it was. I'm going to choose my words, so listen carefully. As popular as it was, okay, is still looked at as a barbaric form of sports. Okay, it UFC is a combination of all combat sports. It's boxing, it's wrestling, it's karate, it's jiu-jitsu, it's street fighting. It's basically men and women going in an octagon ring and trying to beat the holy hell out of each other. It's the closest thing that we've gotten to basically Roman gladiator combat. And and the reason why I think some people are like, well, this is weird, is because the UFC has always been aligned with, men, predominantly young or white men from the ages of 18 to roughly around 45 who, love beer and whiskey and don't care about being politically correct and say all kind of crazy things and, will, just start yelling out of nowhere in America and all this. And it's just supposed to be, it was supposed to be in the form of all the sports. It was like that's that UFC thing. Boxing was always deemed more beautiful because there are two guys or girls, the people in the ring trying to beat the piss out of each other, but there was more of an art form, and there is there's a rough art form to UFC, but UFC in the rawest form is literally just see if you can beat somebody into submission or tap them out or whatever. Another reason why this is kind of polarizing is because there's no secret Dana White and Donald Trump, the president of the United States, or have been aligned with each other. It's, honestly, there's nothing really wrong with that. But the real reason why people are up in arms, not up in arms, but perplexed by this is because it is Donald Trump doing. And say what you will, but there has been not not in a very long time have we had a president that either stays in the news cycle the entire time, or a president that could, at the drop of a dime, make everyone just go, what? So when now you have the UFC, a sport that people consider barbaric and juvenile and very sophomoric, and you have a president that makes people scratch their head on a day-to-day basis, is the reason why there's so much question around the UFC on the front lawn. Now here's the kicker. Let's say it wasn't Trump. Because I can tell you almost every president that has loved sports. Hell, Gerald Ford played football. He's an All American. But we could go with, we'll keep it with people that you may know. Either George Bush, one or two, senior and junior, both love baseball. Both Junior owned the Texas Rangers throughout the first pitch multiple times. And I remember while still in office, did color commentary for an inning for the Washington Nationals, which was pretty cool in my opinion. And he was polarizing, and he was, you know, before Trump, Bush was the measuring stick as far as what did he say or what is he doing? Like that was pretty much it. but nobody really cared because one, it was baseball, and baseball is considered more of the norm for sports. Then you have Obama, who is very known for loving basketball, having pickup basketball games. Hell, one of his staff members or one of the people part of his campaign and later was a former Duke basketball player, standout. uh, you know, the athletes and teams who won championships kind of always went to the White House, but it really was put on center stage when Obama was in office. He was almost like considered the sports president. Hell, ESPN every year did a bracket with him for March Madness, and nobody kind of seemed to have a problem with it. So that's where we now come is, is this so wrong? It's really not. It's different. It's the first of its kind. And does it cheapen the White House? Kind of, in my opinion. I think from a visual standpoint, it may look kind of cool. But like, what other sports would you have? What other sports would you want to see from the White House? Well, you can't see many because, basketball. I mean, it's June 14th. You can do the NBA Finals if they go seven from there. You can do a WNBA game from there. That'll never happen in this administration. You can't do a football game because it's not that time of year. You could do tennis, but it's not that, none of that will fit there. The UFC, the Octagon is small enough, and you don't need to have 60,000 people, 30,000 people. You just need a small group of people watching TV cameras and put it out there. But but as the I gave them the benefit of the doubt in that last one. I didn't come off too bad, right? I didn't come off too political, did I? No, because I sure didn't. But forget all the politics. Let's talk about how hypocritical the UFC is about to be right now. You heard my octaves and my voice went up. So the UFC is going to put on this event to celebrate America, USA, right? Here's where I have a problem. Yeah, it's my damn show, and I'm gonna speak how I want. You telling me currently right now? One reason why this thing is a mess to me. Ain't nobody on there ain't no mega stars anymore in the UFC. Not one. There's not a star. I'm talking box office. Not now for all you UFC fans out there, you're worse than wrestling fans in the sense you're like, you don't know so and so. He did it. You don't no, I don't. All right. I'm a casual viewer, and I remember when you had Connor, John Jones. When the John Jones fight came on, you stopped what you did. When Conor McGregor was fighting, you stopped what you did. Ronda, Holly Holmes, what's her name? She's a monster. Nina Perez. No, I can't think of her name. Cannot think of her name right now. Regardless, the UFC has no bona fide box office stars, and on the biggest show ever in the history of this sport, you have no one to put on there. And then kind of give you more of an idea, right? The UFC's some of their champions. Here's some notable names. All right, um, Joseph Van. He's born in Texas. He's one. But how about Petr who Petryan, bantamweight champion? He's from Russia. Their pound for pound best fighter, Isaiah. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Mikovit. He's a champion. He's pound for pound one of the champions. Russian. Um, Alexander, whose last name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. He's Australian. And then Alex Pena is from Brazil. So you're going to put on a card, and out of these champions that I mentioned, I don't see, like, they're not even on the card, those guys. Your heavyweight card has Josh Hulk and Derek Lewis, who's bound to say and do anything. Derek Lewis has no title. But you have no one that anybody would pay to see that is a casual fan, let alone want to sit on their couch and watch. What are you doing? You couldn't get John Jones. You couldn't get Conor McGregor. You couldn't get none of them. Hell, Ronda's getting ready to fight on Netflix in front of no one. You couldn't get her for a card. So forget the fact that you're gonna get eyeballs because it's a freaking event in front of the White House. People will watch that just for the aesthetic of it. You know what I'm saying? But from a entertainment standpoint, like this is great. Like this is what is this? What this don't scream America to me. It don't. Basically just screams desperate. The UFC is not the UFC it was 5, 10 years ago. It's not. It really ain't. Where everybody kind of would have you. They used to call it water cooler talk. People would have conversation. The only people that have conversation about UFC now are the same people that have conversation about boxing. You either just gotta be a fan, but there's nobody going out of their way to say, "Damn, I ain't seen the UFC fight in a while. I'm gonna watch." Listen, I have Paramount Plus. I can watch the UFC anytime I want, and I don't because there's no one to watch. You gotta have showmanship. You gotta have pizzazz, and your showmanship can't continue to be white guys between 27 and 30 and 40 just saying outlandish and crazy stuff after a fight that just sounds like a man concussed and drunk at the same time. How do you feel after the fight? I love America. I'm hot and tired. And I told Donald Trump I'll go kill the terrorists. What? What? You're what? What's that have to do with the fight? Like what? Like, come on. What are we like? Really? What are we doing here? I'm disappointed. Is what I am, and I feel I'm disappointed. I listen. Will I watch? I'm a view it. I'll put an eye on it. If somebody streams it on TikTok, it's probably how I'm gonna watch it. But as far as like must see, will it be a downright sports special about it? Nah, definitely not. Not probably not. I'm just gonna go with the no, strong no. And it's not because it's not a cool, novel idea. It's just because it has no box office attractions. That's it. I'm sorry. You get over it. Did I have more? No, I don't have more. That's it. That's all I had. We're gonna come back. All right. If you hated this segment, tough. Because I'm really gonna dig it in the next one when we talk about the Mets. Yeah, I'm not even a Met fan. But we're going to talk about the Mets and why I think it's time that the Mets fire their manager, who just ain't getting it done. If you've never heard Downright Sports before, this is your first time, well, download past episodes on Spotify. You can also listen on the DJ Chase Radio app Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Follow us on all social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, just to name a few. And we'll be back with more Downright Sports. Buckle up. Buckle up. Buckle up.